I've already done a couple of videos about co-articulation. I introduced the concept that there's co-articulation, which comes in two forms: double articulation and secondary articulation. But then I came across this concept called anticipatory co-articulation. I already have videos about assimilation, so I would recommend you watch those videos before this. But if you are somehow familiar with assimilation, I can introduce the new concept that is called anticipatory assimilation. Anticipatory assimilation is actually a different term for regressive assimilation. So when you have regressive assimilation, it means there is a sound that is affected by its following sound. So the source of influence is the following sound and it flows backward. That's why it's called a regressive. If it was the other direction, it would be progressive. In anticipatory co-articulation, in a way you anticipate what you're going to say next, and the fact that you have the next sound or sounds in your mind's eye and you expect to say them next, that somehow affects what you're saying right now. So in anticipatory co-articulation, we co-articulate our current sound segment cognitively with the subsequent sound as if they were already uttered together in our mind's eye. In anticipatory co-articulation, an articulator that is involved in the articulation of a particular sound begins to move in the direction of the target articulation needed for a later sound in the utterance. Nasalization is an example of this process. Nasalization is different than articulating the nasal stops or the nasal consonants, such as ma, na, nga, or the Spanish sound ña. So these are nasal consonants or nasal stops. Nasalization is a different thing. In nasalization, a vowel is followed by a nasal consonant or a nasal stop. In the process of pronouncing the string of sounds in which the vowel plus nasal consonant string occurs, one lowers the soft palate in anticipation of the nasal consonant during the articulation of the vowel. So, for example, the word pen, we transcribed it phonemically as pen. If you go to the website, you will see the broad transcription, the phonemic transcription. If you want to be more precise with your transcription and use the IPA symbols, you would need to be very specific about the vowel symbol you use, which in this case is e. And then, if you want to go more narrow, you would put the superscript tilde on top of the vowel to indicate that the vowel is nasalized. So this is what I meant by anticipatory co-articulation or regressive assimilation, which here appears in the form of nasalization of a previous vowel being assimilated to the following nasal. So we know that when we utter the sound na, what happens is, because it's a nasal alveolar, in the articulation of the nasal alveolar, you have complete closure in the mouth. The two articulators, the tongue and the alveolar ridge, completely block the flow of air, but at the same time, we lower the velum to allow air to go through the nose. But then, when pronouncing the vowel in anticipation of that lowering of the velum, and allowing the air to go through the nose, we already do it for the vowel, and then this results in nasalization of the vowel, or anticipatory co-articulation of the vowel. I told you that this anticipatory co-articulation happens with nasal consonants, that there are nasal consonants in English other than na, and ma is one of them. So if you have a word in which a vowel occurs before ma, this has broad transcription, but when you want to narrowly transcribe it, you can add the nasalization. Again, here there is anticipatory co-articulation resulting in nasalization of the vowel. Well, this was some practice of narrow transcription, but also actual examples of anticipatory co-articulation. Nasalization requires lowering of the soft palate or velum to open the nasal cavity, the same process that occurs during the pronunciation of the nasal consonants. So although nasalization is technically a different term, than nasal consonants. They share the feature in which the velum is lowered to open the nasal cavity. However, vowels that undergo anticipatory assimilation or regressive assimilation in the process of nasalization are called nasalized vowels, while the nasal consonants are called nasals, nasal stops, or nasal consonants. They are not called nasalized consonants. Nasalized vowels can be phonemic in some languages. For example, in French, if you say "se," the regular spelling would be this, which means I know. But if you say "sing," it is spelled as this, and it means healthy. "Se," you see the vowel is not nasalized, but "sing" is nasalized. Then the meaning of the word changes. It means that in French, vowel nasalization is a phonemic process in the sense that it creates new phonemes. But that is not true of English. So nasalization of vowels is phonetic, it's not phonemic.